7 days ago, this loaf didn't exist. All I had was flour and water and an empty jar. So here's what I learned. Today, we're making a sourdough starter for beginners. I've been a chef for over 35 years, and believe it or not, I didn't make my first loaf of sourdough till lockdown 2021. And my first time making sourdough, I was confident, and I got it wrong. In this video, I'm going to show you what I learned from 7 days of making a starter, and along the way, I nearly gave up, especially on day 4. So this is the flours that you want to use if you're making a sourdough starter for the first time to create your perfect first sourdough loaf. This is Canadian white bread flour and it's great for sourdough. And I use a second flour, which is this lovely grainy wholemeal. On day 1, you want to weigh this empty jar on top of the scale so you know the weight of the empty jar. Now we're going to add 90 grams of the Canadian white flour, followed by 10 grams of the seeded wholemeal. Now we're going to need to add 115 grams of lukewarm water and then mix that paste vigorously to release the gluten. I'm using this fermentation jar which comes in this handy lid and that releases a CO2 gas. Now here's the reason we weighed the jar. Today we want to discard everything apart from 70 grams of the starter. And today we're going to add 50 grams of each flour, followed by 115 grams of lukewarm water, mix and cover. Day 3, exciting. What's happened today? It's doubled inside. The natural yeast to start working and it's risen that dough. If you don't have a fermentation lid, you can cover it loosely with a light jam jar lid or a piece of cloth. But today the bread smells a lot more bready, and we're going to discard the same as yesterday, leaving everything apart from 70 grams. Now at this stage you can start using your discard for things like crumpets, sourdough wraps, but we'll get onto that in another video. But now it's time to repeat the process from yesterday. 50 grams of the white flour, 50 grams of wholemeal flour, 115 grams of the lukewarm water. And the reason you need a fermentation lid or a piece of cloth or a loosely finished lid is so the CO2 gases can be released as it ferments. Now at this stage, a nice thing to do is put an elastic band or a hairband around your jar so you can see how much the dough is rising and falling. The fermentation lid's going back on and we'll leave it overnight. It's nice and warm in the UK at the moment, so fermentation should be pretty successful. And hopefully tomorrow we should see the dough has risen and dirtied the jar from there to there. It feels like a disaster, nothing's happened. Let's open the jar and have a look and see if something's gone wrong. After yesterday's activity, it feels like you've wasted your time. And this is where a lot of beginners give up. So why on day 4 has it not risen as much and it smells super vinegary? What's happening inside the jar is a battle between different bacteria and wild yeast. And that's why today nothing's happened, but the key is not to give up and keep feeding it. So repeating yesterday's process, 50 grams of each flour, 115 grams of lukewarm water, and then mix. You'll notice that each day I'm cleaning the jar after mixing, and now the starter's been fed, it smells a lot more bready. Screwing the lid on, putting the hairband back in place, and we're going to put it on the side for another 24 hours. Here we go, drum roll day 5. Look at the bubbles and the fermentation on that. That's something to be proud of, and that's what we're looking for. Those natural yeasts have taken over the bacteria that we saw yesterday and have risen to the top of the jar. Super happy. This could be the day I fell in love with my starter. Right, now we're seeing the activity of the wild yeast in the jar, we're going to cut back some moisture over the next 2 days to start getting the starter ready to make sourdough. And the smell is definitely an improvement on yesterday. And now we have active yeast, we're going to discard more of that starter. And look at this, look at the structure the starter has changed over the last 24 hours. Lovely and bubbly, lovely and complex. And now we're going to reduce the amount of starter we keep because there's so much yeast in there. And now to this discard, you could add a little bit of salt, a little bit of olive oil, fry it in a frying pan and get a delicious sourdough wrap. Now today we're going 50 grams of each flour, but we're going to reduce the warm water just to 100 grams. So we've got equal quantities of flour to water to get a real nice paste. Good mix, clean the jar, lid on, let's go. It's day 6. Has my starter died and what's happened to it? Well, just like proving bread, you can overprove a starter. And what's happened? After day 5, when you're feeding your starter, the starter used all that fresh flour. It rose up just like proving bread, and then once it had used all the sugar and all the flour, it basically sunk all the way back down again after it had used all that flour and all the sugars and the flour and all the food that it used to rise itself. Now, when you smell it, it's got that acidic smell back again, and basically it's dying for another feed. Now that strong bacteria is in there, once we feed this again, it should definitely rise up. And we need it to rise up because when it's rising, this is the time you make your sourdough. Let's feed the starter and I'll show you what I mean in a time-lapse video. Now we're going to discard everything apart from 50 grams. As you can see, it doesn't leave much in the jar. And then 50 grams of each flour, 100 grams of water, good mix, clean the jar up nicely. We clean it up so no dry bits fall into the starter and the starter stays nice and fresh with no dry brown bits in it. Screw the lid on and let's take a look at what happens over the next 2 hours. And now the starter is ready and we'll make sourdough in the next video. But what have I learned? After my 7-day journey of making sourdough, here's what it's taught me. Life isn't always easy, things change, problems come and go, but sometimes getting back into the kitchen and creating something with your own hands helps you slow down for just one moment. It's amazing that 2 simple ingredients, given a little time, a little care, can become something truly magical. And maybe, just maybe, that's why food matters so much. It brings people together, it starts conversations, and it creates memories. Because at the end of the day, if you really think about life's best moments, most of them are shared around the table with the people that you love and care about. So enjoy the simple things in life and stay tasty, and I'll see you in the next video.